Hey everyone, this is Narendra and you're watching to my channel BioGuru. Today in this video I am going to start the chapter that is respiration in plants. So what is that? Let us see. So here we are going to study cellular respiration. Now what is this cellular respiration? Cellular respiration is the mechanism of breakdown of food material within the cell to release energy and the trapping of this energy for ATP synthesis. So what are the things happening in the cellular respiration? There is a breakdown of food material, right? So here breakdown of food material means oxidation of food material. So where does it happens? Where it is taking place? It is taking place within the cell. So within the cell, oxidation of food material is going to take place in order to release energy, and that energy is utilized to form ATP. Now what is this ATP? ATP is the adenosine triphosphate, which is energy currency of cell. We know that inside the cell thousands of biochemical reactions takes place in order to keep a cell in a living state. So for that purpose, in order to carry out certain reactions, energy is required. So that energy is stored in the form of ATP. So this ATP can be synthesized after oxidation of food material inside the cell. Right? Now the food material could be carbohydrates, proteins, fats, or organic acids. So those compounds which undergo cellular respiration, they are called as respiratory substrate, right? So overall, if you see, the equation for respiration is like this, where this is one molecule of glucose, C6H12O6, in presence of oxygen, because oxidation should take place. So glucose in presence of oxygen is broken down into carbon dioxide and water. So during this process, energy is released. Here from one molecule of glucose, how much energy is released? 686 kilocalorie of energy is released. So we will see step by step, so how one molecule of glucose is converted into carbon dioxide and water, and this much of energy is released. So let us see. So first, in cellular respiration, we are going to study about the glycolysis. Now, glycolysis is the breakdown of glucose to pyruvic acid by partial oxidation. Here you can see one molecule of glucose is there, and this will be converted into glucose 6-phosphate, right? So here the phosphate group is attached to the glucose at carbon number 6. So because of that, now the glucose is called as glucose 6-phosphate. Now from where this phosphate is coming? It is coming from the ATP. We know that ATP is the energy currency in the cell. As I already told you, cell uses ATP in order to carry out certain reaction inside the cell cytoplasm. So here the glucose in this particular reaction, in order to convert the glucose into glucose 6-phosphate, one ATP is utilized. ATP full form is adenosine triphosphate. So out of 3 phosphate group, 1 phosphate group is donated to glucose. So ATP will now become ADP. Earlier it was triphosphate. After donating 1 phosphate group to glucose, it will become ADP, that is adenosine diphosphate. So overall, this reaction is catalyzed by the enzyme that is called as hexokinase. So what is the role of hexokinase? Hexokinase phosphorylate glucose to glucose 6-phosphate. Next, glucose 6-phosphate is converted into fructose 6-phosphate. In this particular reaction, the glucose will be converted into fructose and rest of the things will remain same, right? The glucose 6-phosphate is now converted into fructose 6-phosphate. Now this fructose 6-phosphate will be converted into fructose 1,6-bisphosphate. That means to this fructose 6-phosphate, one more phosphate group is attached at the carbon number 1. So because of that, now it is called as fructose 1,6-bisphosphate. Bis means here biphosphate. Clear? Now the question is, from where this one more phosphate group is coming. Yes, in this particular reaction, one more ATP is utilized, right? From here, if you remove one phosphate group, then it will become ADP. So ATP will become ADP after donating one phosphate group to fructose 6-phosphate in order to produce fructose 1,6-bisphosphate. Now this fructose 1,6-bisphosphate splits into two compounds, that is 3-phosphoglyceraldehyde and dihydroxyacetone phosphate. So it is because of this step only the reaction is called as glycolysis. Glyco means glucose, lysis means breakdown. Right? Here the one molecule of fructose 1,6-bisphosphate is converted into or broken down into two molecules or two compounds, 3 carbon compounds, that is 3-phosphoglyceraldehyde and dihydroxyacetone phosphate. Now this 3-phosphoglyceraldehyde will get converted into 1,3-bisphosphoglyceric acid. Here the two molecules of 1,3-bisphosphoglyceric acid is produced. It is because here there are two compounds, 3-phosphoglyceraldehyde as well as dihydroxyacetone phosphate. Both this compound is going to become or get converted into 1,3-bisphosphoglyceric acid. So hence two molecules are produced. Clear? So in this particular reaction, NADH is produced. So how many NADH are produced? Two molecules of NADH plus H plus are produced. Now further 1,3-bisphosphoglyceric acid will get converted into 3-phosphoglyceric acid. Here you can notice earlier it was 1,3-bisphosphoglyceric acid. Now it has become 3-phosphoglyceric acid. That means one phosphate group is removed. Now where that phosphate group has gone? That phosphate group is utilized to form ATP. Here ATP is synthesized. Earlier in the beginning of the glycolysis, ATP are utilized, but here while conversion of 1,3-bisphosphoglyceric acid into 3-phosphoglyceric acid, here ATP is synthesized. Now how many ATPs are synthesized? 2 ATP are synthesized. It is because there are two molecules of 1,3-bisphosphoglyceric acid. Here I have written into 2. That means two molecules. So both the molecules will get converted into 3-phosphoglyceric acid. So from each molecule one phosphate group is released. So hence here 2 ATPs are synthesized. So this phosphorylation process is called as substrate level phosphorylation. Clear? Now further, this phosphoglyceric acid will get converted into 2-phosphoglyceric acid. Here, the phosphate group which was present at the carbon number 3 is shifted to carbon number 2. So, because of that, now this 3-phosphoglyceric acid will be called as 2-phosphoglyceric acid. Further, this 2-phosphoglyceric acid get converted into phosphoenol pyruvic acid by the removal of water molecule. That is, in this particular reaction there is a dehydration process is going to take place. Further, phosphoenol pyruvic acid will get converted into pyruvic acid, that is 2 molecules of pyruvic acid. So during this process also one phosphate group is removed and that phosphate group is utilized to synthesize the ATP. Here once again 2 ATP are produced. It is because there are two molecules of phosphoenol pyruvic acid. From each phosphoenol pyruvic acid, phosphate group is removed. So because of that, 2 ATPs are synthesized. So this is the partial oxidation of glucose to pyruvic acid, and this reaction is called as what? Glycolysis. Here, this glycolysis is going to take place in cytoplasm of the cell. Question may come like, where does this glycolysis reaction takes place inside the cell? This particular reaction, that is glycolysis, takes place in the cytoplasm of the cell. This glycolysis present in all living organisms, right? So be it unicellular organism or multicellular organism, be it plants or animals, in all organism, right? Or be it prokaryotes or eukaryotes. In all organism, glycolysis takes place in the cytoplasm. Clear? Next, in plants, sucrose is converted into glucose. We know that in plants, after photosynthesis, during photosynthesis, glucose is produced, right? And that glucose will be converted into first sucrose. So plants, they translocate food in the form of sucrose from leaves to roots and vice versa, right? So first, in order to undergo the glycolysis, first plant should convert sucrose into glucose. And how it is going to take place? The sucrose will be converted into glucose by the enzyme that is called as invertase, or it is also called as sucrase. Clear? So from the sucrose, glucose is produced by the action of the enzyme that is invertase or sucrase. Now this glucose will enter into the glycolysis, especially in case of plants, right? Now it is a common pathway for aerobic and anaerobic cellular respiration. So there are two types of respiration is going to take place, that is aerobic and anaerobic respiration. So this particular reaction, that is glycolysis, is said to be the common pathway for aerobic and anaerobic cellular respiration. Now, if you count the number of ATP produced, that is net ATP produced, so there will be two ATPs. Two ATPs are generated or synthesized or produced. Now let us count where they are utilized and where they are actually synthesized. So here total 4 ATPs are produced. Total 4, where here in this step you can see 2 ATPs are synthesized, and here also in this particular step where 1,3-bisphosphoglyceric acid is converted into 3-phosphoglyceric acid. 2 ATPs are produced here. And another one step, what is that? Phosphoenol pyruvic acid getting converted into pyruvic acid. In this particular step also 2 ATPs are produced. So total how many ATP are produced? 4 ATP, right? Now in the beginning of glycolysis, we can see during the conversion of glucose to glucose 6-phosphate, one molecule of ATP is utilized, as well as in the particular reaction, that is fructose 6-phosphate, when it is getting converted into fructose 1,6-bisphosphate, there also one ATP is utilized. So overall 2 ATPs are consumed over here. So here 4 produced and 2 consumed, that means 4 minus 2. So the net ATP produced will become 2 ATP. So overall in glycolysis, the net ATP produced are 2 ATPs. So moving to the next one. Here the fate of pyruvic acid, right, depends upon two types of respiration, that is anaerobic respiration and aerobic respiration. Anaerobic respiration means the breakdown of food material in absence of oxygen. So that is called as anaerobic respiration. If the breakdown of food material takes place in presence of oxygen, then it is called as aerobic respiration. So here in anaerobic respiration, we are going to study about fermentation. In that, we are going to study lactic acid fermentation and alcoholic fermentation. Now let us study about the fermentation. Now what is this fermentation? Fermentation is the incomplete oxidation of glucose under an aerobic condition. Glucose will get converted into 3-phosphoglyceraldehyde and then to 3-phosphoglyceric acid, where NADH is produced. Then it will get converted into phosphoenol pyruvic acid. Further, this will get converted into 2 molecules of pyruvic acid. So whole this process is of a glycolysis, right, where NADH is produced and 2 molecules of pyruvic acid. So in absence of oxygen, the pyruvic acid may produce the lactic acid. That is 2 molecules of pyruvic acid may produce 2 molecules of lactic acid. Its formula is C3H6O3, right? Now during this reaction, the NADH which is produced over here in the glycolysis will be utilized, right? So 2-NADH is utilized over here, and this particular reaction is carried out or catalyzed by the enzyme that is called as lactate dehydrogenase, right? So this particular reaction where the pyruvic acid is getting converted into lactic acid is called as lactic acid fermentation, right? So what is fermentation? Incomplete oxidation of glucose under anaerobic condition. So here the pyruvic acid is getting converted into lactic acid in absence of oxygen. So because of that, this is called as lactic acid fermentation. So such type of reaction is seen in bacteria and in case of animal muscles, right? So whenever we do physical activities, say for example like exercise, at that time our muscles need instant energy. So during that physical activity, the glucose undergo fermentation process, incomplete oxidation, where lactic acid will be generated. So because of the accumulation of lactic acid in the muscles undergo fatigue. So we start feeling tiredness and muscles also starts paining, right? Okay, the fate of pyruvic acid in absence of oxygen may result into the formation of some other compounds. So let us see that one. So here the pyruvic acid may first produce acetaldehyde. Obviously the two molecules of acetaldehyde, two molecules of pyruvic acid is now first producing two molecules of acetaldehyde. So during this particular reaction, decarboxylation takes place. That means removal of carbon dioxide. So this particular reaction is catalyzed by the enzyme pyruvic acid decarboxylase, right? Further, this acetaldehyde will get converted into ethanol, right? So during this process, we know that during glycolysis, NADH is produced, and that NADH is utilized over here. NADH will get converted into NAD+. So overall NADH is utilized over here. So this particular reaction where acetaldehyde is getting converted into ethanol is catalyzed by the enzyme that is alcohol dehydrogenase. So this particular reaction where from pyruvic acid ethanol is produced is called as alcoholic fermentation, right? Once again, what is fermentation? Incomplete oxidation of glucose under anaerobic condition, that means in absence of oxygen. Here the glucose is converted into ethanol in alcoholic fermentation, whereas the glucose is converted into lactic acid in lactic acid fermentation. So here alcoholic fermentation, if you take example, it is seen in case of yeast, right? So yeast, they are going to consume the glucose and going to produce alcohol, that is ethanol. So both this reaction may be hazardous. It is because here the acids and alcohols are produced, right? So when the yeast starts producing ethanol as a byproduct, right, if it exceeds about 13%, they are going to poison themselves to death, right? So yeast die about 13% of the ethanol. Here the alcoholic fermentation is represented by the equation, that is one molecule of glucose C6H12O6 will get converted into two molecules of ethanol, right, that is C2H5OH, then carbon dioxide, and then it is going to release 59 kilocalorie. That means overall in fermentation only 7% energy of glucose is released. So this is what all about the fermentation. So this may look like very complicated, but I will try to ease all this reaction in my next slide. So let us see. So here fermentation, we know that it is the incomplete oxidation of glucose under anaerobic condition, right? We know that there are two types of fermentation, lactic acid fermentation and alcoholic fermentation. So we'll see one by one. First one, lactic acid fermentation. So in lactic acid fermentation, example, if you see bacteria and in animal muscle cells, right, where the two molecules of pyruvic acid is getting converted into two molecules of lactic acid. Its molecular formula is C3H6O3, and during this process NADH is utilized. From where this NADH is coming? It is coming during the glycolysis, right? So that is used in conversion of pyruvic acid to lactic acid. Then this particular reaction is catalyzed by which enzyme? Yes, that is lactate dehydrogenase. Right, so this particular reaction is of lactic acid fermentation. Clear? So the next one is alcoholic fermentation. In alcoholic fermentation, example we have seen, what is that? Yeast. In yeast, pyruvic acid first it will get converted into acetaldehyde. During this process, decarboxylation is going to take place, right? That means carbon dioxide will be removed, and this particular reaction is catalyzed by pyruvic acid decarboxylase. Further, this acetaldehyde will get converted into the final product, that is ethanol. And during this reaction, NADH is utilized. And this particular reaction where acetaldehyde is getting converted into ethanol is catalyzed by the enzyme, that is alcohol dehydrogenase. Right? And we know that if the ethanol concentration exceeds above 13%, yeast is going to die. Right? Because above that percent, above 13%, ethanol is going to become poison for yeast. So they will poison themselves if they produce more than 13% of ethanol. So alcoholic fermentation is represented by the equation, that is C6H12O6. It is of glucose molecule, right? Then under anaerobic condition, it is getting converted into two molecules of ethanol, that is C2H5OH. Then carbon dioxide, here it is released, and only 59 kilocalorie of energy is released. That means in overall fermentation, only 7% energy of glucose is released. I hope you understood glycolysis as well as fermentation, that is lactic acid fermentation and alcoholic fermentation. That's it for today. Hope you found this video useful. If so, hit like button. Share this video with your friends, classmates, and if you are teacher, lecturer, please do share this video with your colleagues. I will see you in my next video. Till then, take care.